Yo, what's up, comic compadres, and welcome back to the Hoodrat podcast, where I'm Hoodrat, your Hoodrat, and what we all Hoodrats. I just want to welcome everybody in. I want to thank you guys all for catching my live show that happens every other Monday. That's this Monday, and the next one happened every other Monday. But I appreciate everybody coming through, and I appreciate everybody checking out the Trending Not Trending show that I had taped that showed earlier this week. Earlier today, not this week, today. But I want to bring in my homies over here. This is Dan Delatorre actually named us the Rat Pack. We are called the Rat Pack here over here on the Hoodrat podcast on the Monday night Jive. But let's bring in the folks, man. Let's bring in the folks. First, man, I want to bring in is the historian of the Rat Pack. It's a historian of the Rat Pack. He knows ins and outs of all the silver age, the bronze, the copper, and even the modern, man. And that's my man, Dan Delatorre. What's up, man? How you doing, Dan?
And good to see you, man. Now, we're calling ourselves the Rat Pack because we may be starting a rumble at the Tony Sanders show, so stay tuned for that.
Oh, and I forgot to introduce you as a champ, the heavyweight champ, right? Are you the heavyweight champ? Is that right?
Former champ, because I went against a really nice man, Roscoe. But the problem with facing Roscoe's just too much of a sweetheart, too nice of a guy. He wins by not sympathy, but nobody can oppose Roscoe, because you throw out a coloring book, you can't beat him.
Yeah, man, you can, man. And then I want to bring in my man with one of the most eclectic collections on Instagram. He has the gold and he has the silver, he has the bronze. You just don't know what he's gonna put up each day. And that's my boy Jaw. Comic book crackhead. What's up, Jaw? How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, man? What's up? You got a new intro. I love that new intro.
You know what, man? I pressed the wrong button and I didn't do the Monday Night Jive, bro. So
it's okay. It worked out.
I don't know why I hit the wrong button, man. But that is one of my new intros, man. And thank you, man. Appreciate it.
I like it.
And the last person I'm gonna bring in, who's a resident panel here on the Monday Night Comic Jive, and that is the man who reads everything. Reads page by page. He even reads the editorials, man, and the mailing, man. Like, this man reads it all, and that is my boy Kirk. That's Mindshift. What's up, Kirk?
Searching for things to read. What's up, y'all?
How you doing, man? Let's give a live shout out. Good, man. How you doing? Good out there in Oakland, bro?
It hasn't started raining yet. Well, it rained a couple days ago, but it's not raining since. So
yeah, you guys get the same weather, huh? You and Dan, you guys get the same weather, right?
More or less. There's a little microclimate here in the Bay Area. We usually get more rain than Oakland, and then San Jose, a little south of us, gets the least amount of rain.
Okay. But let's say what's up to the live chat. I want to say what's up to Space Ferret. That's my boy Craig in the OC, man. What's up, Craig? Thank you. I recommended you guys follow his YouTube, man. He got some great YouTube going up. He just started one up. And here's my boy Steezy, man. That's Jesse. What's up, Steezy? Steezyology, man. He was selling over there at near Mint. Remember Ja? He was at the dollar boxes. So
yeah.
Steezy, man. Steezy. That's Jesse. Nice to see you. This is Paul, man. Paul from the 619, man. That's my party. That's my party, Paul, man. Paul.
What's going on, Paul?
Man. Pope's in the house. Pope Cerebrus the first, man. What's up, bro?
What's up,
hey, what's up, man? Oh, and check it out, bro. We got the homies here. Let me see where I'm at. He just hit it. Let me see here. It's going to pop up, but Bronze and Modern Gods has just showed up. Let me try to find him here. Let me pull this down. Is that John? Did someone say dollar box is John?
What's up, John?
That's John, man. John knows, man. Like we dollar box fans and kings, man. $2 boxes and dollar boxes. I even go to $3 boxes. What you say, John, man? But I want to welcome everybody to the show. And you know what's up, man. You know what's up we do here. We do 3 different segments. We do Trending Not Trending. We do Dan's Corner. Dan is coming in with some heat today. Dan got some knowledge, so get out your pen and pencil because Dan's going to break it down, man. And then we got Downer Clown. But, yo, let's start this up with Trending Not Trending. Yo, here we go. So my first book for Training Not Training is The Tomb of Dracula #1. Why am I picking The Tomb of Dracula #1? I really think that this book has been underrated for a long time. And I think Marvel is going to start bringing in the horror aspect into the MCU. I really think they are doing. I mean, one fact that I saw. I mean, this is where all came up to me. I'm like, let me see here. This is where the idea came up when I was thinking about. So I saw this. A lot of people are posting this over on Instagram that Disney Plus reveals promising update for Deadpool and MCU's R-rated future. First thing everybody thought was like Deadpool. Me, I thought, you know what? You guys are bringing in Blade. We already know we're having Blade. We're having Morbius. That means we might have, the Midnight Suns. So with the Midnight Suns, like you need monsters, right? You need horror, and you can't do horror and you can't do monsters without maybe a PG-13 and maybe even better a rated R, right? So this is my thoughts on that, and like not only is the Tomb of Dracula, essential to having like horror comics, right? To having horror movies and R-rated movies, but it's essential to have R-rated stuff. But check this out. So this is what they're saying, right? So this is what Disney Plus is saying. They're saying that they're gonna have some type of setting on Disney Plus to make it TV-14 content, right? TV-14 content, and it says this is gonna start being in effect like on March 16th. So that's gonna happen on Wednesday. I think they're not only setting this up for like Deadpool and all these other properties that are adult centric, but I think this is a real big setup for what's going to happen in the MCU when Blade comes in, when the Midnight Suns come in, and when they bring in like monsters and horror. And some of these, let me see here, and some of these, so these are guys I'm looking out for, right? I mean, there's a lot of different monsters that we should be looking at. Because Marvel wants to move that. I mean, Disney wants to move that way, and why wouldn't they, right? I remember in the '90s, right? I remember in the '90s when Disney had Touchstone Pictures. Remember that, guys? Do you guys remember that relationship they had with Touchstone Pictures?
Yeah.
They would do the Disney would do all that Lady and the Tramp and like Beauty and the Beast, and they would send all their R-rated films to Touchstone. Like it was kind of like an ancillary where they were attached but not attached, right? Like great movies came out on Touchstone, like Nightmare Before Christmas, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Remember that? Who Framed Roger Rabbit? That was a very risque cartoon. That was not meant for kids. And also Pretty Woman, and one of my favorite movies of Touchstone of all time was Hot Chicks. Remember Hot Chicks? Come on, guys. Remember Hot Chicks?
No, so that was my time.
So why can't? So this is what I always think about this. Why can't Disney have like a Touchstone? Why can't they just buy out like Sony Pictures, right? So Sony Pictures actually did what Spider-Man No Way Home, right? Wasn't that under Sony? I mean, why can't they have something like why can't they take Sony or Hulu, and put all these different different horror movies and horror characters on these platforms? They don't have to do it on Disney because everybody. I mean, it's for us as like comic collectors and comic fans and pop culture fanatics. We love it, right? But I'm hearing parents over here in my neighborhood saying, like, "You hear about Disney Plus? They're trying to go like TV-14. That's not Disney. That's not their brand. Disney could keep their brand, but they can move it towards somewhere else, like they did with Touchstone." And I think that's what Disney might be trying to do. But I mean, like horror characters besides Dracula that I'm looking at are like, like mundane characters. I'm always looking at mundane characters like Arcade. Man-Thing is not mundane, but I'm looking at Man-Thing also. Nightmare, The Brood, Lycans, like the werewolves, right? And like
what about Werewolf by Night?
Werewolf by Night, right? Like I mean, we all seen Moon Knight. Come on, we all seen him getting his lights punched out by Moon Knight in that trailer, right?
Is that werewolf though?
I don't know.
Right? Who knows, right? And we know that Disney in October is going to have a Halloween special. And I always think like everybody thinks like, oh, Blade might show up in Moon Knight. Blade might show up in over in the Halloween special. But what if Blade shows up in Morbius, right? Like it's a perfect introduction for Blade. So Disney is positioning themselves to like really get like a rated R segment platform for shows like this. 'Cause I don't really see these characters fitting into like a PG, maybe in a PG-13 world, but like that's really crossing the line for that for their brand, So I'm hoping this happens. That's just my theory on things. That's my theory. That's what I'm trying to look at. And that's the things I'm looking at for Disney to do probably in the future. But for me, the Tomb of Dracula has been it's been an undervalued book for a long time. But what do you guys think, man? I know I'm throwing a lot of theories out there. I know I'm throwing a lot of things at you. But when I saw that it said Disney wants to bring the horror. You know what I'm saying? So,
Ian, let me as I look at this illustration that you have here, this dovetails perfectly with the Marvel method. In other words, they cross over in so many different areas because I'm seeing Mephisto, I'm seeing Nightmare, I'm seeing Damien Hellstrom, and those are some of those crossed over in the Doctor Strange series, some crossed over in Defenders. So there's your theory of crossover is very, very sound because that's what Marvel was good at, interweaving their stories in all sorts of ways. Now, these characters certainly they could be an R-rated, more of a graphic storyline. They could also fall back for some not semi-comedic, but some more lighthearted storylines as time goes on. But there's this interlocking ability that Marvel has. Again, the story's already written for them.
Yep.
So, but I like where you're going with this theory. They could have more of an entity like you said Touchstone. They could be their horror or more of a graphic storyline that does dovetail with the MCU. Now, should they buy another outfit to do that? I don't know if Disney wants to do that. That's up to the lawyers. That's a numbers thing. If they want to actually purchase one, if they do, they need to keep close tabs on it, and they need to work side by side with the MCU. Because the mistake they could make is one of the things that Sony has done, and they've sort of gone off in their own little direction that didn't dovetail with the MCU, and that was a terrible mistake for storyline. So anyway, that's what I see right off the bat.
Yep.
Yeah. I definitely think they're going to go horror. I mean, it's more than obvious. I think someone in the chat even said that. I think someone said that Moon Knight is the gateway to that, and I totally agree with that.
Yes, agreed.
Totally agree with that. And they have so many characters that they can just introduce into the MCU. I have no doubt. And Tomb of Dracula has been one of the most underrated. Totally agree. It's Dracula. He's been around since the 1930s, I think.
30s, yeah.
And I think that's his first appearance in comics, man. I'm like, wow, he was there 40 years before he even showed up in comics, man.
Yeah.
But let's go to the chat, man. So here's John, man. Thank you, man. John, I appreciate you, man, for we all put hard work into this. Full run Tomb of Dracula. I'm saying that I'm there with you. True Bronze. Yep. Thank you again, Craig. And I'd be down for some Dracula. Disney After Dark, huh?
Yeah, I like
good.
Yes, very good. Nice.
I like that, Pope.
Yeah.
And then
Got
Pope
some
said,
smart people in the chat.
Yep.
Yeah, Tomb 101. Even that second print, that second print of Tomb 101 is really undervalued right now, man. Because people I think we're in for the midnight Suns, guys. You know what I'm saying? So
that's gonna happen.
Moon Knight is a gateway for dark stuff. Tomb 1, 2, 10, and 13. Our dream books right there. Moon Knight could be the breakthrough character. Yep, for sure. Steve says Disney sells alcohol in their park. Right. There you go, man. Let's get the rated R stuff going, man. World by Night is supposed to come in MCU.
Hey, another thing, Ian. Another thing, though, man. A lot of those horror books that came out in the 70s, a lot of those, it wasn't bought, right? A lot of people didn't buy them. If they did, they really, didn't take care of them.
Yeah.
So, getting them in great condition or even finding them is kind of hard to find.
Yep. I'm getting through the chat because the chat has some dope stuff. What's up, Free? How you doing, Free? And Kamikaze. What's up, Comic? What's up, Ozzy, bro? I appreciate you coming through, man. Go ahead.
It's also worth noting, though, that there's always been a horror genre. There's always been an audience for horror, and they really pushed the envelope in the 50s, which led to the that the book, The Seduction of the Innocent, because that's a lot of what Dr. Wortham was talking about, and that led to a congressional hearing, which almost destroyed the industry. So I agree this is the direction they should go into because the audience is already there, but they should, I wouldn't say tread lightly, they just need to remember their history, because I don't want history repeating itself regarding what happened in the 50s, because and by the way, that can happen again. That congressional hearing, there was something like that in the 90s with video games. Whenever there's something wrong in society, they blame video games. Oh, it's their fault and all that. And that happened in the early 90s because, again, government doesn't want to, they want to point the finger at someone else. But I do think they need to, I don't think that I have to worry about it because the MCU pretty much is taking a methodical approach to pretty much everything. I just hope they don't rush it too quickly.
Yep. And I'm we're talking about villains here. We're talking about the monsters, but I like to play villains, but I don't like to bet on them. I like to bet on the heroes. So like Elsa Bloodstone, right? Like, come on. That's straight up Disney right there, and they like to bring women heroes in. So that's a good one. It's Elsa Bloodstone's first. It's still a pretty decent priced book. Brother Voodoo is another one. I mean, people talk about them a lot.
Oh, I love it. I want that book so bad.
Right. All right, Ghost Rider, like Johnny Blaze and Danny Ketch, and then you got Morbius too, and then you got guys like Blade, man, like that, guys that we all love. And but that's my take on like the horror. And when I saw that rated R thing, I'm like, yo, man, you guys are nuts. You guys are seeing the Deadpool thing, but what about all these other characters that we can have to make a fuller like Disney for like grown-ups, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is gonna be dope. I hope they use Hulu. I hope they do Touchstone, maybe Sony, but that's my take on it, man. But next up, man, for his pick is my man Jaw, going with some monsters too, some horror. Go ahead, Jaw.
Yeah, man. I didn't know you were gonna show Tomb of Dracula as your start there, but I'm following it up with another horror. It's a Werewolf by Night. Number 13 is the first appearance of Topaz, and there's a lot of rumors swirling, as you said, a lot of rumors swirling around horror and these monster characters. And might as well start, getting the first appearances if you can find them. Topaz is another character that's in Werewolf by Night. And I think, there's just a bunch of, not only in Werewolf by Night, but a lot of the other Marvel horror comic books. I think that would be another good spec. That's why I wanted to share this one.
I'm in for it too, man. I'm in for like guys like Topaz and like the guys that'll surprise us, right? The guys that'll surprise us. Like and that actually have a really good like buy-in right now,
right.
And Topaz for sure, it's only a $30 book, you know what I'm saying? You could get a $30 book and maybe grade it, press it, clean it, and get a decent return on it if that's something you want to do, or keep it for your collection, man. But check this out, man. Let's go to the chat, man. Bloodstone Brother Voodoo, Jericho Drum, man. If he pops in somewhere, man, we're about to lose our heads, man. And then John's over the Fox Deadpool laid a groundwork for R-rated Marvel flicks. And it was a hit. If it wasn't for Deadpool being a hit, man, we wouldn't have this talk, right? Like, we're like, oh, we'll just stick with the PG-13 stuff, man.
Right.
I'm not hating. Hyper's in the house, man. What's up, Hyper, bro? I appreciate you. Azorus is in the house, man. And look at it. We got Balloon the block, man. What's cracking, bro? What's cracking, man? Welcome, bro. I appreciate you coming, man. And then we got everybody saying what's up. I just want to make sure everybody says sees WWBN always a good buy. Yep, even the new low, man. That's what I'm saying. All right, man. So great pick there, John, man. Sticking with the horror, man. And we'll tell y'all we got a whole horror show coming up, right, John? Like next week, man. So we'll tell y'all at the end. Man. I know, man. Bro, it's crazy, man. And Freeze in that too. It's the Daywalkers. But next up, man, is my boy
Daywalkers.
The Daywalkers, bro. You don't know about the Daywalkers?
Oh man.
Yeah, right? So it's on you. It's on you, Kirk. What you got?
Oh, okay. Oh yeah. So I got Amazing Spider. It's not horror, but it's Amazing Spider-Man number 337. This is like when the Sinister Six comes back together, is finally reformed. And this is a book that I saw that was just trending that I would have never guessed would be trending for this much. Like I bought this book for like a couple bucks, and now it's like a $40 book. So it's just interesting to see how even books like from the '90s are just like are shooting up in price. One of my favorite artists, Eric Larson. Um, so this is a book that if you're an Amazing Spider-Man collector and this is a run that you're trying to like complete, you might want to like hunt down this book and try to get it ASAP because some of these older books, some of these newer books are more modern books are starting to go up in price as Silver Age and Bronze Age goes up. Like it's harder to get these type of books. So this is just one book I wanted to highlight.
And that spills over to the Copper Age too. The three are connected to Stan Lee and Jack Kirby's bullpen. That's when after the Copper Age ended, I stopped collecting because they got so far away from it, it lost my interest. But I remember this book. This was a nice reintroduction to the Sinister Six. And as you point out, it's affordable, but it's the old adage, if you can't afford the first one, go for the second one.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, man. It's a weird thing to see 90s books worth $40 now, right? I want to ask Dan, is the 90s a new copper now? And is the copper the new silver or bronze? And is the bronze the new silver? You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, again, I was alive and buying in the Bronze Age. We didn't call it the Bronze Age as I'm taking the comics off the rack. There was still the classification of the Silver Age comics, but there's going to have to be a complete reclassification of what is what, because the 90s was 30 years ago.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's vintage now, man. So we can't call it modern. I mean,
no, not at all.
2000.
No,
modern.
One of my friends, actually, P-Dot actually calls it, P-Dot Comics. He calls it Chrome Age because there was a lot of Chrome.
Oh no! You're right.
Chrome Age.
I would have never even guessed that.
Yeah.
That's a good classification. I agree. Nerds.
So my boy Hyper, I got a reader copy of First Topaz. Hey, bro, man, for a few bucks.
Oh wow.
Hey, man, there you go, man. And my boy, the DJ of the show, man, Plainclothes D, he's gonna be showing up sometime. And then sub up Pope, man. He goes, please sub me up, man. Go and sub up Pope. Look at all those comic book greats. Watching y'all on TV. What's up, James? That's my boy, Dr. Comics on Instagram. What's up, my brother? I'm nearly finishing several old silver marble runs.
Nice.
I bought this when it came out. I actually and don't sleep on Doc Ock. Yeah, man. Don't sleep on Doc Ock, man.
Yeah.
Easy, man. There you go, Steezy. And if Pope's 90s is the image age. Oh, that could be. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. You did have Spawn, right? Nerds. Jedi Sensei, man. I like that. I like the emoji or your thing there, man. Your picture. And then gold should be pushed up to platinum. There you go, man. All right.
Azor's is a smart man. I think he's onto something.
Yeah, man. So
But isn't there a platinum age too?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, platinum was before the 40s, right? Platinum was in the 30s.
I guess there is. If you talk about the comics, didn't start with Action Comics #1; they had existed beforehand. So we're talking the 20s into the 30s.
Yeah.
So.
All right, man. So we picked two Bronze Age books, and what do we call them? A Chromium Age, a Chrome Age, right here. So I'm gonna move on to modern books for my pick, and I'm picking this Thor: God of Thunder #2, man. I mean, we this is the first appearance of Gore, right? Gore. And if you guys haven't read this Aaron run, this fucking run is epic, man. This run is so good.
I love this run.
It's hard to put it down, man. And I think #3 or #4, I forget which one was the origin of Gore, and that story in itself had me, man. This had me. This
is what got me into Jason Aaron just as a writer itself.
Yeah, man. And then we all know Thor: Love of Thunder's coming out this year in 2022, and we already know Christian Bale is gonna be God of Thunder. But why I'm picking this book is because of Necrosword, right? I'm picking this book up because of the future, because this book is not only a key because of Gore, but this could be a future key for my man. Let me see here. For my man here, Noel. I think you can't have Gore without leading into Noel, man, because where that Necrosword comes out. If we see the Necrosword pop up in Thor: Love and Thunder, man, it's over for this book. It's over for this book, and it's over for Venom #3 in the Kate's run, because that's just confirmation that we're gonna get Null. So I mean, for me, it's a good bet to like buy this book right here. I mean, this book right here is at $171, right? I mean, when we actually get a trailer and see gore, I mean, it's gonna double, right? It may even go like up 75%. But you can get this one. You can get this one right now for less than $100. You could get that one, and then we see the Necrosword, and then just quadruples, and then we all know No's coming, and then you see this one just skyrocket out of your reach. You know what I'm saying? This is the cameo of No, and another one to get the first full appearances on #3 over on Kate's run of No. But for me, like, yes, it's a great buy for gore, but like if you wanna hedge a bet, man, and go for that Necrosword and go for No, these two books, man, are great picks. And it's a great run, and it's a good read. So you're getting so much value all in one. It's just not appearance of somebody. It's not just gonna be worth more, but it's actually a really, really good read, of this whole damn run, and it all leads into Lady Thor 2 as well, man. So that's my pick for this modern
Jane
book, man.
Foster.
Jane Foster, man. Like, but it's for me, it's a double whammy, man. You get Gore, and you get the Necrosword, and you get Null. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you, gentlemen, because I've not read these books here, and John Kirk, you might have read the like Thor Annual 10, first appearance of the God Eater. Is there some sort of connection there, or?
I don't think so.
Okay,
it's just he just wants to get rid of all the gods. He's not eating them. He's just trying to eliminate, every god there is, basically.
Okay. Because that's what it reminded me of. And again, I have not read these stories, and I haven't read Thor Annual 10 in years. So I just thought, if we are making that connection, now's the time to get both those books. But
yeah, well, yeah, this is a modern series. I just recommend reading, because it's just like Jason Aaron does. He does lore so well. Like it's just beautifully written. So I definitely, if you can read this in trade, pick it up.
And James
really
and Steezy, Steezy. So, I mean, I think this book is undervalued right now. If you're hedging your bet that we're gonna get Null, because I mean, once we said the Necrosword, can you guys agree with me that this book is over, man? All these books, all these early connected books for Null are just gonna skyrocket. I mean, the Necrosword just means we're gonna get them, and that just ushers in the Donny Cates era. You know what I'm saying? That ushers in all that Donny Cates stuff, all that damnation stuff, all that stuff, all that, all that. Donny Cates,
I would love to see a
right?
Damnation. I love that Doctor Strange series.
It is, man. It's a good series, man. I actually read it like this week, and that's such a damn good series, bro. Panda in the house, man. What up, fam? Panda in the house. Get Panda in the house, man. And then James Micronauts is a long-term play with Null. Yeah, man. There you go. You gotta tell me more about that, man. And then we got Freak. And then there we go, man. Adrian, what's up, bro? So next up, man. Next up is Jaw. What you got for us, Jaw? And Jaw always got. Y'all want to take notes, man. Jaw always got these books, man. Go ahead, Jaw.
Yeah. So in my search of trying to find something for the show, I've come across this one. And I'll be honest, I don't know if anyone in the chat has ever seen this one. I just want to throw this one out there. I think it's extremely hard to find. On every claim sale I've ever been on, I've never seen it. In any auction, I've never seen it. Every convention that I've recently been to, I think 3 or 4 of them last year, and even this year, I've never seen this particular issue. It's a 1 in 50. It came out in 2013. It's a Fantastic Four. I don't know how many people were probably ordering 50 copies of this Fantastic Four in 2013. So it's a Gelato variant, and I think if you can find it out there in the wild, good luck. I would
sell it to me.
Yeah, exactly. I was finding one. I'm gonna post it on my page, but I don't even own a copy of this one. So
and this is a Zdarsky run, right? The Fantastic Four. Am I right? I think so, right?
I'm not sure. Yeah, man.
So.
Yeah.
So I mean, I like Zdarsky, man. So I try to read all his stuff. I think it is, man. I'm looking at. I've never seen this book before, man. When you popped this up, I was like, "What's this book, bro?" And then I looked at the sales. It only sells once in a while because there's nothing on eBay for this book.
No.
You know,
I'm looking at eBay now. There's nothing there.
It's a
Nothing
ghost,
there.
man. So when this pops up on eBay,
Wow.
this is one of those gems that when it pops, and on cover price, it's labeled as a gem. Because when they label gems, that means whenever anything pops up on eBay, it lasts for like an hour. You know what I'm saying? Like people have this hearted and they buy it. It's gone. You cannot find it. Like people are looking for this book. And that's the book that John always brings, man. That's why he's such an eclectic collector, you know. And but I think this is a Zdarsky run, and you know, Zdarsky always writes good stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? So
well, just the cover by itself, Ian, man. Look, I mean, that's a dope cover right there, man.
That's a gorgeous cover.
Hell yeah, I agree.
I'm
not even saying that because it's a Ben Grimm cover.
Yeah, I know Kirk is a big Thing fan, man. So yeah, bro, yeah. So hey, man, always picking the gems, man. Like every time, John, every time you pick a book, it always has a gem. I'm like, damn, man, like you just picked it. No, seriously, like I'm serious though. Like the cover price marks it as a gem, and it's like, damn, that means it's like a hard to find HTF book in their through their research. You know what I'm saying?
It's just because I like stuff, you know, you can't find. That's I just like that kind of stuff, man.
See,
and
man,
now it's going to be harder to find because this panel and everyone in the chat is going to be gunning for this book.
Exactly,
bro. It's going to be one of those that everybody's gonna heart, man. So first appearance of Captain Mike. Okay, and then check this out, man. So Efren's in the house, man, and he wrote down some stuff for us, man. He said first age was Victorian age. Okay, 1842 to 1897, and Platinum Age was 1897 to 1938. Basically, newspapers-based comics, man. Go follow Passport Comics, my boy Efren, man.
Yeah.
Always breaking the knowledge.
Who's got some Victorian age comics?
They have Victorian age. It's crazy.
I have a Victorian age book. It's a fairy tale book. I found it at like this barn. There was a barn open, and it was a garage sale. And I saw this book, and I was like, "What?" And I looked at it. I was like, "Why is this book such in great condition?" And I looked at the printing, and it was like 1914. I'm like, no, I'm getting this book for $5. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's I'll show you guys if you guys ever come through. This book is dope, man.
That's crazy.
Next up, man, is my boy Kirk, man. Kirk bringing books he needs to educate us on. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, so this is an interesting series. It's basically like an anthology that DC put out through a press called I think it was Piranha Press, I believe it's called. And this is the last issue of this run. And usually what they say about the last issue is usually like a lower print. I tried to look up the print run of this specific issue, but I could not find it. But yeah, I've never heard of this series. It's definitely like a horror genre for DC. And yeah, if you see any of these covers out in the wild, like pick them up because you know no one's selling this series. I've never heard of this series, never seen it, but this is like not just this cover. If you look through all the covers, like just great art covers, and yeah, it's like, I mean. Yeah, there's not a lot of sales for them, and it's just in my eyes, it looks like a pretty rare book.
Yeah,
I've
man.
never seen this one.
Me either, man.
Same here.
It is, you know, and as you were talking, I was thinking about this, and this is for Dan, because I know Dan's going to talk about some of this in his segment. DC has always been the dark genre for like movies, right? For like comic book movies, right? What will happen if Marvel starts rated R and starts doing their own horror stuff and moves into the rated R market? Is that gonna help DC, or is that gonna hinder them? You know, like right?
It all depends on their approach. I would say that they might complement each other, or most likely they'll be like they always will be. DC will be one world, Marvel will be another. There won't be any crossover. There won't be any connection. Again, it all depends on. Keep in mind, these are companies. They want sales. They want you sitting in the theater to watch their movie. They want you to buy the comic book. So whoever has the best story, the best artwork is going to win. The only reason if Marvel does affect DC sales, if they did what they did in the Silver Age, they actually beat out their sales thanks to Stanley Jack Kirby's brilliance. But at this point, I think it's too early to tell. But by the way, I love that cover. I'm looking at the cover. It's a wild cover.
Check out John, man. He just checked the print run. 2,300, Kirk.
Wow.
That's
wow. That's super low.
I bet you could find this book in like $2 dollar bins. I think no one would know about it for a 2,300 print run. Oh my God, man. Wow.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be. But I specifically added this to the list because I personally am going to start looking for this series.
Hey, man. John's a big fan of that book too, bro, man. And then let me see here, man. And then Dale Close, the guy who helped start Second City. Oh, okay, gotcha, man.
Oh, nice.
Is that the? I know Second City as a comedy club, man. You know, that's just me. Is that what you're talking about? The comedy store. You know what I'm saying? What an awesome cover, man. What an awesome name for a title.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
The title is what grabbed me.
Hey, man, but great pick, man. I mean, I've never seen this book, and Daw's never seen this book, right, Jaw? You never?
No, I've never. No.
Dan, you never seen this book either?
Absolutely, no way.
Oh, but I think I got something for y'all that y'all need to. Y'all have never seen because Dan's about to break it down. Get your notebooks, get your notepads. It's Dan time. Dan's.
All right, everyone. I'm Ben De La Torre. Welcome to Comic Book Corner. This is going to be a rapid fire segment. There are lots of things to talk about here. Before we begin, a huge shout out to Comic Book Kingpins who gave us a shout out earlier on this afternoon. Check them out every Monday. Their show begins at 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 Eastern, and also the Newbie show. They also gave us a nice shout out. Newbie has great content. The Newbie Universe. Their shows are on 6 o'clock on Sunday and Tuesday every week. Check these guys out. These guys are wealth of information.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man.
And a follow-up to our last segment, we talked about the Defenders, and we had a great conversation afterwards. John and I were talking about the end, why the Defenders came to an end. And we brought up a great point between the two of us that I say the Defenders ended because there was bad writing. There just wasn't a writing team that knew what to do with this very powerful team. The same could be said for the X-Men. Remember, the X-Men started in X-Men 1 and faded in, around 50 or 60, I think. Then they went to reprints. Roy Thomas was the last person to try to save that franchise, and he couldn't do it. So they reprinted for a couple of years, and it wasn't until Giant Size X-Men 1 with Chris Claremont. Claremont knew exactly what to do with the X-Men and save that franchise. And think about that. If Claremont hadn't came on the scene, there'd be no Storm, there'd be no Nightcrawler. Wolverine would not be anywhere near as prominent as he is today. So again, good writing is very, very key. Let's start with this segment here with not a spoiler. Let's talk a little bit about the Batman movie. I saw the Batman movie last Sunday, and I'm not going to give any element to it. It was an outstanding movie. I was grabbed because we all know the Batman storyline. When I sat there, I thought, okay, let's see what DC's doing. I'm hoping, like many, that they're going to gain some traction, and I think they have with this particular character and this movie here. It was interesting. The story grabbed me. I was interested from beginning to end. It was a bit long. It was a 3-hour movie. I mention this for a few reasons. One, I'm hoping the DC Universe finally gets its act together. I'm also hoping that they connect this Batman with the DC Universe. Now, the word is they're not going to. This is going to be a standalone. I think that's a terrible mistake. But think about if DC finally gets their act together. Look at the power of Kevin Feige and the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That we live on every word that man says. If DC does get their act together, look at the explosion in the DC market. Now, I don't tell anyone what to do regarding what to invest in and what to purchase and all that. But if they do this right, I think this might be a really good time to start looking into DC keys. And that's all I'm going to say. And I do recommend you see the movie. We might talk about it in the next segment in 2 weeks. But right now, I give it a huge thumbs up. So let's get into our next segment here. I had a, speaking of the newbieverse, I had a conversation through text with Hypercombo Comics, a good friend of mine, and he texted me just before he made his major purchase. He bought Hulk, speaking Wolverine, Hulk 181 and 180, two CGCs. And the question he had for me was, the Hulk 181 had some water damage to it. And he said, do I know anything about what water does to paper regarding its damage? And that started a conversation with us. And I said, the funny thing is, for all of us that are comic collectors, look how many hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of dollars we put into the collecting industry, into the hobby. None of us is an expert on paper. Paper is one of the most fragile things you can possibly imagine. Now, CGC, I've got this image up here. This is my Journey into Mystery annual one, the first appearance of Hercules. It's a gorgeous copy. I have it right here. But the picture doesn't really give it justice. It's beautiful white pages, a gorgeous, very crisp copy. It's a 5.5, but looking at it, it should be a 7.5, possibly an 8. What brought that down about 2 points? To the right side, there's a crescent-shaped moon, water damage on the back cover. If that wasn't there, I think that book would be a 7.5 or an 8, but CGC really, really knocks this down. Now, to answer Hyper's question, what does water damage do to paper? I think we all should start looking into it. That leads to a little bit of maintenance here, because there are lots of shows. Journals had a good piece on this. A1 Comics had a good piece on how to maintain your comics, getting the boards, the bags, and the Mylar and so forth, which is a costly element all by itself. But does anyone talk about storage of temperature, humidity, that sort of thing? And these books have been here for several months. I should probably bring them out to see if insects have gotten in, because insects love to come in your home and they will destroy anything. So think about the money that you have invested into this. You need to maintain them and keep an eye on them, because, again, you could lose thousands or tens of thousands of dollars by not paying attention to things. And at the risk of sounding like your dad, by the way, I have this very methodical thing that I do when I handle comics, raw comics by hand. I'm forever washing my hands. The reason why is this. Paper is very absorbent. It absorbs water very easily, oil, soil, dirt, anything. And once it gets in the paper fibers, it's very difficult to remove. Now, with your hands, your skin has a natural oil that it produces. And if that can easily get onto your paper, if you use hand lotion, like I have dry skin during the wintertime because of the type of work that I do. So I have to use a lotion, but the lotion has a residue. And the residue will transfer to the paper. So I wash my hands before handling that to get that residue off. The same thing with hand sanitizer. We were coming out of the pandemic. I'm not a fan of the hand sanitizer, but the problem with that is you're trying to clear off whatever germs that are on your hands. You're killing them with the hand sanitizer, but it's still on your hands. And so is the residue from the sanitizer. That also will transfer to your paper. It's a simple solution, but I stand behind it. Constantly wash your hands before handling the raw comic. Okay, enough about maintenance. Let's get into a little bit about how to buy on a budget. I'm bringing up some comics here, or Ian is bringing up some comics that I profiled for him. Each of them has a story here. The Avengers one to the right. You can see it's a bit of a worn copy. One of the biggest components that I have to collecting, because I'm a collector on a budget like most people. I'm forever looking for deals. I first saw that one for $775 as is, and I didn't have the money at the time to get it. And I was hoping it would last for a couple of days. It didn't. Someone grabbed it, and I was pretty heartbroken. Well, about 3 weeks later, that same comic comes up. Someone wanted to flip it. They added another $200. The bottom line price was $998, which is a steal for an Avengers 1. What you have to do, especially moving forward with the expense of these books, is constantly look. Your diligence will pay off. And I'll show a few more books to prove my point. But you're going to have to be very, very creative moving forward. Most of these grails and these keys are not coming backwards as far as price. Now, the one to the right is a Doctor Strange book. That's Doctor Strange 174. That is the first appearance of a character called Satanish. Now, with Mephisto, with the aforementioned Mephisto most likely on his way, he's one of the minions or associates of Mephisto. So this is a very inexpensive book and a great read, and something you can get your hands on, because you never know with the MCU what they're going to bring up next. He could be, if Mephisto comes up, I can see that character showing up as a prelude to Mephisto. Let's go to the next one, Ian. What do we got next here? we have. This is still an underrated series, the Journey into Mystery series. To the right is the classic Thor versus Hulk battle, Journey into Mystery 112. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous copy and a great read. This is an offshoot of Avengers 3 when the Avengers were fighting Hulk and Submariner. There is a side story that is told here in 112. The price has actually come down on this, believe it or not. I think this is the last chance you have to get your hands on books like this because once it goes up, it's not coming back down again. To the left is the first appearance of the Absorbing Man. I love the Absorbing Man, one of the brilliant incarnations from Jack Kirby and Stan Lee. This is also an underrated book. And the entire series is underrated, and you can see these are not really high grades. The 114 is maybe, I don't know, 2530, if that. But it's a great reader's copy. I didn't pay much for it, and it's in my collection. What do we got next, Ian? We're moving on here. Okay. The X-Men. Let's talk about that. Is X-Men 137 here. The aforementioned Chris Claremont. This is a very, very underrated series. It's not underrated. It's undervalued. Anything from X-Men 94, which is pretty pricey, and of course Giant Size X-Men 1, which is out of everyone's reach, but all the way up until around 150 or 160, these comics are. I would start to gather these up now. I am right here. I paid not a whole lot for this X-Men 137. That was the climax of the Jean Grey Phoenix story. A great, great classic storyline. So I would start to gobble them up as you can. To the right, we have Tales to Astonish 90, the first appearance of the Abomination. Now, there was a little bit of hype with the Shang-Chi movie. I'm still calling it Shang-Chi. And that comic spiked quite a bit and it's dropped significantly. I would grab these. These are just because these are very underrated stories. Most of these are Stan Lee stories. You've got some gorgeous artwork in most of these. You could still get them in bundles, but I would refocus on some of these stories simply to have them in your collection. Let's move on to our next segment, our next pair of books here. To the right is Strange Tales number 125. Look at that gorgeous cover. The Thing and Submariner, they sort of had it in for each other. They battled quite a bit, but that's an underrated book, and it's something that if you look hard enough, you can find a good deal. And just to have these classics in your collection. Plus, you never know with the Doctor Strange stories, with the Strange Tales movie coming out, we have no idea what direction he's going to go into. Best to stockpile these now. To the right is Fantastic Four number 12. Now, that is a purple label. Now, I bring that up for this reason. There has been and continues to be this stigma of the purple label, that it's a restored label. You should just let it sit on the shelf. Given how...
Oh no! Did Dan go out?
He was doing so well.
I know, man. Comcast got Dan. Comcast got Dan. Comcast got Dan, man. Okay, there he goes. All right.
You know, I was doing.
Comcast got you, bro.
We were doing great until just a few seconds ago. Anyway, let's continue on. My apologies for the technical difficulties. No, this is not a live show at all, is it? Fantastic Four number 12. Again, that's a purple label, restored label, and there continues to be this stigma of the purple label that you should just leave it on the shelf. I think you should take a second look at all these purple and even green qualified labels for this reason. The prices are just so astronomical. That Fantastic Four number 12, I paid only $300 for it because nobody wanted it. And yes, it's not a great copy. It's a 1.5. It's got tape all over it and a few other issues, but so what? It is complete. It has been certified by CGC, and it is a gorgeous collection addition to my collection, and I didn't pay that much for it. Let's give another example to what a purple label could look like and what the kind of deals that you get. This is another Journey into Mystery Annual number 1, first appearance of Hercules. I have actually I have 3 of them. I have a raw copy. I have the 5.5 that I just showed. This is a 4.5 white pages, really, really nice copy. And it says minor color restoration, minor color touch up on the cover. And for that reason and reason alone, it was given a purple label. Now, I deal with colors every day of my life. That's part of my job. I can't find where that color touch-up is. Now, I'm not doubting it's there. CGC has their methods to find these things. But you know what? I paid for that book. This is going to be a grail, by the way. This, when Hercules finally shows up in the MCU, and if they find the right actor, let's say a Jason Momoa type character, that will be an expensive grail. I paid only $135 for that.
Man.
Nobody wanted it. I think that was a stunning price. And if you're on a budget, why would you not, get these purple labels while you can and say you have them in your collection? They're certified, they are graded, and they present very well. Now, I've got two last examples here. The Avengers 4 to the right, that is signed by Stan Lee.
I knew John was gonna come in, man. That's his guy, man. Hercules.
Well, if I hope John has a few, because I think they're gonna at some point move up in value significantly. Hercules was all over the place. He was a mainstay in the Silver Age, and to be able to get a major character like that for a very reasonable price, I don't think it's going to last very long. To the Avengers 4, this is probably one of my best examples of perseverance. I looked and looked and looked. Sometimes I was on 3, 4, 5 times a day on eBay, and I saw this one pop up. This is Avengers 4, and anyone who's collected for any length of time recognizes that's a Stan Lee signature. That's a 4.0 off-white to white pages. It is a CBCS label, and they verified the signature that is Stan Lee. Now, why I bring this up? The price that someone was asking for this was $650. That's it. And it seemed to be too good to be true. Now, this is before eBay has had of late a lot of scammers popping up, a lot of suspicious people putting comics up saying, hey, this is a great deal, and the price is too good to be true. Well, I looked at the collector's background. I looked the comic up and over, and even at on a budget, $650 is a lot of money. I said, buy it now. And a week later, that shows up at my door. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's not a record reprint. That is the actual Avengers 4. If that was on eBay today, I doubt if that would last 10 minutes, if that. There are deals out there if you persevere, and the more you put into this hobby, the more you're going to get out of it. But you have to be diligent, because I was diligent. That's how I'm a collector on a budget. I don't have a lot of money, but I still was able to put together a really, really nice collection by being patient. The last book we have is this one here. This is for Newbie. I'm sorry. I love Newbie. He's a friend. I tease him all the time about this. And by the way, see that little blue light at Iron Man's hand? That was a happy mistake when I took a bunch of pictures of it because I was stunned to get it. I can't repeat it. I don't know how I did it, but there's that cool little blue light. This was I was looking at a 1.8 for 4,500, and this fellow here, this 2.0, was also asking 4,500 or best offer. I'd saved and saved and saved for months and months because I wanted one of the deep grails, and those two books were on my radar, and I was just getting close and within range to purchase it. And during those long months of savings, I had to pass up so many great opportunities. There was a Tales to Astonish 91. It was first cover appearance of The Abomination. It was a 9.8 signed by Stan Lee. It was the only one in the world, and I could have got it, but I stuck to my guns. I said, no, I want that grail. So when the opportunity came up, this guy had a best offer caveat to his comic. And I reached out to him because you get 3 bids on eBay. The first bid I threw out was $3,800. It's a decent bid because I wanted to be fair. You never want to throw out something like $1 or $5 and insult the person, because again, you only have 3 bids, and you don't want to piss the person off, to be honest with you, and waste the person's time. The gentleman responded right away, and he said, "Well, I tell you what, you can have her for $4,100." So he's already come down $400 in one shot. Wow. So we went back and forth. So the second bid, I said, well, let's say I think I said $3,900, and he came back with $4,150. That was just within my range. Now I had that third option. I don't want to split hairs and say, hey, let's knock another $50 off. I thought, wait a minute, this is my grail right here. I pressed, I said I accept it, got it. But it took an awful lot of work, an awful lot of savings, and an awful lot of patience to be able to get your hands on that thing. Now that's well over 5 figures to get an Iron Man in that grade. I mention all this because moving forward, there's still a lot of deals out there, and in the coming weeks, I'll be profiling some of these deals that I see, and so will the rest of the panel here. Some of these grails they're pretty pricey. That Tales of Suspense 39 is not coming down anytime soon. But let's talk about one last component regarding finances in economy. Right now, we're in a pretty substantial inflation, and that's the significance of this bubble here. There's too much money being printed out, and there's been a lot of mistakes from the U.S. government. And I don't want to get into politics. You never want to get me started, because as much as I know about comics, I know way more about politics, and I will lose your entire audience. So I'm not going to get into that. But I mention this because we love this hobby. It is extremely wise to look around your surroundings. I think we are going to have a pretty rough year or two, at least, with this high inflation, record gas prices, and all the rest of it, and the value of your dollar going downwards. People have been putting their money into tangible assets, whether it's vehicles or property or gold or silver or whatever. That's also why comic books have gone up, because they're collectible. But be very, very careful moving forward. Make certain that your finances are in order, that your job is secure. Don't do what I did. I made a lot of mistakes as a younger man. I bought a bunch of comics because I just loved them. I wanted to have them. And then times went south, and I had to sell my comics. It was heartbreaking to sell an Amazing Fantasy 15 or the aforementioned Tales of Suspense 39. I've just made terrible choices. And I mention that because I didn't pay attention to the economy. I didn't pay attention to the world around me. I love this community. And my job, as I see it, since I've been given this wonderful platform, thanks to Ian and the Hoodrat crew, I want to share as much as I know, including giving warnings.
You're Hoodrat crew. You're Hoodrat crew, man.
We're the Hoodrat crew. But again, be very, very careful moving forward. You can still enjoy the hobby. You can still make some money off this if you want to do this for investment or do some flipping, or if you're like me, you just buy and you collect them. All I'm saying is be very, very careful moving forward regarding the economy and what you want to invest in. Make a smart purchase. When times are great, you can buy. When times are not so good, just hold off right now. I've done that for the last 8 or 9 years. There are times, months at a time, I didn't buy anything because I didn't have any money. And that was a smart way to do it, because I didn't put myself in debt. That way, that collection that's behind me stays behind me. So again, a word of caution as you move forward, but you're going to have this good crew to show you things regarding things to invest in, opportunities to see. This has been my segment, and it's a pleasure. We will talk next week about some possible spec issues.
Hey, man. Dan the man, bro. Teaching us, man. And then John had me freaking laugh crying, bro. Susan Orman, bro. Yo, I'm telling you, man. But as a person who invests in all that other stuff, y'all know me, man. Susan Orman was like one of my foundation. I used to read her all the time, man. Really sound advice for like investing, and she is nodding her head at Dan right now, like, listen to Dan. Listen to Dan. And Susie, man. And Susie, bro. And then let's see. I had this interesting one for Hoodratville. When I came back collecting 10 years ago, I was buying everything new. Once I stopped and only bought things I really love. There you go, man. That's a good way to budget. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And then he was able, and he saved all that money because he was buying things he only loved, Hoodrat, and he was able to buy bigger keys. You know what I'm saying? Like, or you could just be like Rage Steele, man, my homie, man, and your collection consists of 4 181s and 4 GSXs. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, Hoodrat's smart because he waits for opportunities. He's very patient, and he slowly, methodically builds up to higher and higher grades. That's the way to do it. But he also has good business sense. I don't have the best business sense, and if you don't, that's okay. If you don't have business sense, what I'm saying is that be realistic about what you can and cannot do. That way, you can enjoy this hobby, and you don't have to worry about finances because you didn't put yourself in a bad financial situation.
Mm-hmm. And hey, man, seriously, John backs me up. Seriously, her book, Young, Broken, Fabulous, changed my life. I read that book too, bro. I swear to God, my uncle that taught me all this is like, you need to read Susie Orman. I'm like, why do you need to read that white woman stuff, man? It's like, it's some good ass shit, bro. She knows her shit, bro. Like, she is. Read her stuff. But yo, man, let's move on. And you know what time it is for. Yo, this is a segment where we down or clown something. So today we are down or clowning. Who is your favorite? And the chat can come in too and chime in. Who is your favorite Batman? And who was the worst Batman in your opinion? And I'm gonna ask everybody on this segment. I'm gonna save Dan for last because Dan's been around longer than us, so he has a bigger perspective than us. I'm gonna go with the second to youngest guy. I would be like the third, I think, or that's second. I don't know, third. Kirk, I'm gonna say you're younger than me, Kirk. So you go first, bro.
Okay. My favorite all-time Batman, of course, is Michael Keaton. I'm an 80s baby, and my first introduction to Batman was that 1989 movie, Batman movie, which was awesome. So definitely going on Michael Keaton. My least favorite, I'm probably gonna get a lot of like comments about it, but I'm not a fan of the Affleck's Batman.
Ben Affleck.
No.
Ben Affleck.
I'm good.
No. When he was working out, bro, that was over. It was over for me, bro. Remember he was up in the Batcave working out, bro. I was like, what the fuck? I don't need to see Batman working out, man.
I'm good.
No, I'm good on the Ben Affleck, bro. All right, John, man, who's your favorite and who's the worst, bro?
Yeah, this is a tough one, man. I'm a big Batman fan, and this one is tough. You got everything. You even got the Lego Batman on here, man.
The Lego Batman's dope, bro.
They all are very unique. The cartoon Batman Adventures. That cartoon actually to me kind of set the whole.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Dark Knight, Frank Miller's Dark Knight, kind of set it all up, and then the cartoon came out, and I really like that cartoon to this day, and everything that's associated with it. Bruce Timm's art and everything. I think it's great. Live action. I think Christian Bale knocked it out the park, both as Bruce Wayne and Batman. So it's kind of hard to do both, Bruce Wayne and Batman, and he really knocked it out of the park, in my opinion.
Where's his vampire?
Jeez,
all right.
Get a haircut.
I am an 80s baby, man, so I got to go with Michael Keaton, man. I actually thought he had a good balance of Batman and Bruce Wayne. You know what I'm saying? And I love the Joker, man. Who was he play with? You guys that help me.
Nicholson.
Jack
Nicholson.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
Jack Nicholson, man. Like,
day.
what is it, to dance with the devil in the pale moonlight or something like that, man.
Yeah,
I always remember that, man. Like even now, that was like. I don't know. That was like, what, 30 years ago? It had to be 30 years ago, right? But yeah, man, I love Michael Keaton. And close second for me is this dude, man, the Lego Batman. Because this dude, the Lego Batman, bro.
Insane.
I am Batman. I am Batman. I don't know his name, bro, but me and my son, we watch this, and my son laughs like crazy, bro, when he watches the Lego Batman, and I laugh with him, man. It's hilarious, dude. And the worst Batman of all, I told you, is Ben Affleck, man. And when he was working out, bro, I was like, Batman does not work out, man. He does not work out.
I'm not a fan of Clooney's Batman either.
No.
Val Kilmer was bad too, bro.
Yeah, Val Kilmer was bad. Well, he was all right.
Yeah.
He was Ben Affleck had actually one of the better Batman action scenes, I thought. But other than that, yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay. Fast point reference is Adam West is the best, 100%. No soup cup costume. He is, man. Adam West was dope, bro. I mean, I was young enough to watch that stuff.
Yeah,
Kevin Conroy, Bale, and Keaton. Which one is Kevin Conroy? Help me out, guys. Hi. Sure. Let me know who Kevin Conroy is. Oh wait, Dr. Comment says because I'm gonna wait to give it to Dan because Dan got some good stuff though. Ben, Robert, Pats, Keaton, Christian, Adam. Worst of all is Bat Nipples, George. Yeah, remember the Bat Nipples joke?
The Bat Nipples,
the Bat Nipples, man. All right, man. And then Azores is Christian Bale was dope. Yeah, Christian Bale was dope, man. He's like my
favorite. I like that. I like that Batman for sure. He's just not my favorite.
I mean, I think it was that movie, man, was more of the tone. So that would have been Nolan for me.
The overall tone of the movie was great.
Bro. All three were the tone was just like was where it needed to be. and George was the.
Who's the dude in the lower left-hand corner though?
This dude. Okay, let me see. Okay, I'm gonna break it down for you. We're gonna figure this out. Those are all the Batmans.
Beyond, dude?
Those are all the Batmans
Beyond,
right there. So if y'all see that Keanu Reeves is a Batman too, but I don't remember him being a Batman. So, but I'm gonna turn to Dan. Dan, okay, Dan, you've been around the longest, man. You are the wise one. Who is your favorite Batman? Who is the worst?
Can we go back to that previous picture?
Gotcha. There you go.
All right. Okay. I grew up with Adam West, and he was a natural actor because back in those days you didn't have the special effects to play around with. You had to have real acting ability. And he certainly did. He had the presence, the persona. He was even in the animated series because everyone recognized his voice. Mm-hmm. Some great honorable mentions. I love the Lego Batman. I'm sorry. The attitude was perfect. The great balance of comedy and whatever else he brought to the table was outstanding.
Will Arnett. That's his name. Will Arnett.
Oh, he's great. Yeah. He's great. Yeah. And Val Kilmer was quite good, actually. He was only in the one movie. But I think he brought a good presence to the role as, again, Bruce Wayne and as Batman. Same certainly for Christian Bale. He was outstanding. Because think about when the Batman started over again, it was, to me, at the time, a little soon because you just finished out the series with Michael Keaton and a few others. And I thought, wow, they're bringing back. It's a little soon. And I watched it. I thought, wow, this is a great direction. And I'm surprised there weren't more movies along that caliber, but he was outstanding. Now, Ben Affleck, we like to make fun of Ben Affleck because he's Ben Affleck. But I do give him credit. There was one superhero movie he was actually pretty good in. That was, and if anyone saw him as Daredevil back in, what was it, the 90s? It was actually not that bad. I've seen it. Well, we've all seen him do worse. But as far as the Batman and the Justice League, that was a little too. I'm not a big fan of Michael Keaton for this reason. He did pull off the role. But Michael Keaton was a comedic actor, and he can't sort of help himself. So there was a little bit of too much comedy in the Batman movie. The Batman, The Dark Knight, was more of a serious role, which I like. Again, going back to the movie we're seeing today, there was a great blend of investigation and seriousness, a little bit of comedy, and but anyway, it was a great balance. What's the last one? Oh, the guy doing from the Batman animated series, that was excellent. Those are excellent. The Justice League and the Batman in his own storyline. And again, it shows to DC you can create something successful because I love those animated series. Even the Teen Titans, not the Teen Titans Go, but the Teen Titans animated series was outstanding.
Yes,
I
agree.
So why can't they transfer that onto the big screen? Was because they don't really have anyone who knows how to do that. But anyway, my very long answer is, being at my age, Adam West will always be Batman.
Yo, John, that's B-Soap. That's B-Soap. I know that's B-Soap. That has to be B-Soap. Balloon. Yeah. I'm just trying to guess everybody. I thank everybody for coming. But yeah, I agree with you too, man. So these are all the actors that played Batman. There's a ton of them. So there you go, man. Like I showed in the last one, there's even ladies play Batman. You know what I'm saying? So there's a ton of them to pick from, and yeah, we all grew up with some Batman. I just know we all did, but I'm not going to give any spoilers. But I think can we, for those of us that watch it without spoiling, Patterson was really good as a young Batman.
I agree.
I mean,
that's why I keep hearing.
I'm sorry, who was that, Ian?
Patterson.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
If they decide to not make this a one shot, he could be one of the best Batmans to watch him grow because he's still young. He hasn't lost Robin yet. He didn't go through all that stuff. And I think that was a game changer for Batman. That really changed his attitude towards the world. I think we could see a young Batman grow from year 1 to year 10, year 15, and see a real growth period and maybe resurrect DC. You know what I'm saying? So
I think DC has something finally. I hope they recognize that they have something.
Oh, Keanu Reeves. There we go. Keanu was the voice of Bats in the animated Pets movie. So he did play Bats. That's hilarious. We were trying to figure it out too. And then Robert is the true Batman of the year. Too. And yeah, man, let's go, man. Just bring back.
Hey, have you guys seen the Batman from Teen Titans, the show?
No.
No, I haven't.
No.
He sucks.
Let
me tell you, I don't like it.
No.
Old Batman, man, like frail.
Oh, it's too bad.
I don't know. Maybe someone else disagrees.
Yeah, man. But hey, man, I want to thank the panel for coming through. And you know what? Let me share this real quick so y'all can tell everybody where they can find you. Besides here on Monday nights is with the Rat Pack. That's our name for the Tony Sanders Show when we come through. Is the Rat Pack, man? So So let me go ahead.
We're gonna start a We're gonna start a rumble with these guys. They're gonna fear us. They're gonna fear this team.
I know. I need a belt, man. I lost. The only time I went on there, I lost, bro. I lost by 1 point. So, John, where can I find you, bro?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, Comic Book Crackhead. Follow me. If you don't, I'll follow you back. And I appreciate you, Ian, for having me on.
No, man. Nothing but love, man. You already know, bro. And then nothing but love for my boy Chris, man. Where can they find you, bro? Oh, you muted.
I am muted for sure. Sorry. There was a fire. There was a fire. I live by a fire station. Truck going by. But yeah, I do a show. I do a show every Wednesday. Not near mint. Where we bring on community members. We interview Kickstart people starting Kickstarter. We try to give like smaller prints, their chance to get their shine out there. I have I'm going to be on JP Budget Collecting tomorrow, talking about.
JP? That's good.
Yeah. Talking about Invincible. Yeah. I'm on his. I do one of his indie shows, and we're basically just going over the Invincible series, which has been really great.
I'm a big fan of his Cash or Trash show on Sundays.
I love. I watch that.
That's a great show, bro. Did you ever watch that, Dan? The Cash or Trash?
No, never seen it.
It's
seen
so
it.
Good.
It's fun,
so
man.
good seeing like results from 6 months later after he presented.
Yeah, bro.
It's so good.
I be laughing, man. He has a good sense of humor, man. So and then Dan, where can they find you, man?
You can find me on Instagram, and if you have any questions for anything I bring up, please, I'm an open book, so just let me know. I'll be happy to answer them when I can. Life is pretty busy right now. I'm supposed to be on, I think, on the Comic Book Canon show this Sunday. I sponsor a number of shows. We're doing our second giveaway from me. They're celebrating their 1,000 giveaway. This go around is an Iron Man 25 9.0 CGC. That'll be given away this Sunday, 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 o'clock Eastern, and then find me on Tony Sanders' show. I don't know if I'm going to be on the following week. I think I'm off for the week, but that's another place where I hang out, and wherever else I'm wanted.
And you moderate Newbie show too, right?
No, I haven't been on Newbie Show in a while. I will be giving. I sponsor a lot of shows, including his. He's getting close to his 3K, so I'll be on at that point. By the way, Ian, hope you don't mind me mentioning this now.
Go ahead.
We're going to start talking about our own giveaway on this show because I love this show. So we'll come up with something, and so stay tuned.
Yeah, man. So I appreciate everybody that came through over in the chat, man. I try to holler everybody out. It really does mean a lot to us here on the show to see everybody come out and hang out with us on a Monday night. I know it's the worst night of them all, Monday night, and you guys hang out anyway. And we appreciate you, and I appreciate everybody on this panel, man. You guys are the Rat Pack, right here. You know what I'm saying? The Rat Pack. And but y'all, man, I'm Hoodrat. You're Hoodrat, and what? We all Hoodrats, man. And man, we out. If I could find my back bumper, Monday night. I have a front bumper. I'm gonna play the front bumper because I don't have the back bumper because I didn't play our front bumper. So here we go. Peace, y'all.